Good evening. Today is February 6th. It's 5 months from my nasal reconstructive surgery with rib graft. So effectively, it was rhinoplasty with rib graft that was done to repair a complication that happened when I had double jaw advancement surgery to correct sleep apnea. The surgery was in March of 2017, and during the after the 8 to 10 hour surgery, when I was extubated, when they pulled the tube, basically they displaced my septum. It was reconnected with a stitch. My septum went sideways. Nobody knew it until the next day when I was in ICU. Actually, my wife recognized it like immediately and asked what happened to my nose, and didn't really get a response. So the next morning when they looked, they saw that my septum was sideways. And at that time, they tried to adjust it at bedside. It did not work. And they said, you're just going to have to let this thing heal. Won't be a big deal. We'll get it fixed. No problem. Well, when I went back to the first plastic surgeon after, I think, 4 months, he said, this is a bigger job than I'm typically experienced at, because you've got to use something to rebuild the nose on the inside, because there's just too much scarring and too much other work done, because I had a septoplasty and a fracture repair, probably 2 years previous to the jaw advancement surgery. So I went to a specialist who focuses on reconstruction, and he did a rib graft with rhinoplasty. Told me that it would be inflamed for some time and would take some time to heal. So I'm 5 months out. The tip of my nose is still very swollen, and I would say bulbous and hard as a rock, although I can feel it softening up. My nostrils, finally, if you've been following, are soft, and I almost can control and flare my nostrils. But underneath there's a very hard thing. It's rigid. And the challenge that I have is that the muscle in my lip, right in the middle, if I try to smile, naturally, the muscle kind of isn't working yet, and I think it's a little numb when I examine it. So like the nerve is in the middle, not right, and the muscle is challenged, so I can't really smile and show my upper teeth, which is a big difference, because my smile previous to the surgery was a very upper teeth smile and didn't see my lower teeth, and now I only see my lower teeth, barely my upper teeth. I think as my nose softens and the swelling goes down, it'll be a bit better. It's a little bit crooked and deviated to the left. And then right here, where the graft is, you can see it sticks out, and it's not connected to anything. It's kind of loose because I think the cartilage is starting to bow out a little bit. When I went for my 3-month follow-up appointment, my surgeon, who's wicked cool, said, he's in it for the long haul. He's going to make it right. He's going to fix it later. But that means a revision surgery probably once everything settles down, and that mark is a year. So I'm 5 months out, so I'm looking at probably next fall sometime till I get a final result, and then potentially another revision, which hopefully the revision won't take nearly as long to heal because it's not as big of a deal. As far as the rib goes, believe it or not, it still bothers me because I was dumb enough not to do anything about it. So the scar, I didn't treat the scar because it was under a shirt. So when I sweat and I get a shirt that rubs against it, it kind of gets irritated at times, which is no big deal. But then I noticed a couple times when I did anything that engaged my core, I've gotten like this cramp almost, like my ab like cramped or locked up, which has never happened in my entire life, not in a spot like that. So I didn't recondition my abs either, and that's something I'm going to have to, I keep saying it, but I'm going to have to do it because it is weird when it happens. It like locks up in a weird way that I can't quite explain. So I've got to fix that. So overall, I would say the nose is just going to be it's going to be time. I mean, it's still from the side, it's still kind of bulbous, and that's not the profile I had before. It's a little bit crooked, and one side's a little bit more flared. But again, the inflammation does not go down symmetrically, so it's going to be some time. And I can definitely see or feel like there's a little bit of softening happening on the tip, which says to me that the swelling underneath is going down. And hopefully that means that this part will become more pliable, which allows my upper lip to raise over my teeth when I smile. And hopefully all will be good in time. So as far as my sleep goes from the sleep apnea and the double jaw advancement surgery, if I didn't have the complications for my nose, I would say I'm feeling better because I sleep much better at night. I don't snore, I don't have apnea episodes, and I feel good when I wake up, refreshed, which I haven't in a long time. But the nose is a constant reminder, 24/7, every single day for now almost a year that I had some major surgery done on my face. People look at me different sometimes because I do look different. People that haven't seen me yet, especially people that sort of know me or I guess used to it, and people that have never seen me before obviously don't know what I look like before, so it's not a big deal. But it's one of those things that is just kind of interesting. I coach soccer, and I was training a group that I don't typically train as a guest coach because someone was out. And there was an 8-year-old boy who said to me, wow, your face looks weird. Did you have like a bad plastic surgery experience? So like what 8-year-old comes up with that shit on their own? I mean, it was obviously his mother. And then I did see his mom, and well, she probably would know what a bad plastic surgery would look like. Not to be rude, she didn't have a bad experience, but she definitely had some work done. So I just kind of chalked it up as that, and I kind of, sometimes those kids say things that they hear from their parents, and I thought it was kind of funny, but it's funny. It was comical. So that's an update on the nose and the jaw, sort of at the same time. I am on March 29th. I'm 6 weeks away from my jaw surgery, and that will be a teller. I've taken some pictures, but I haven't posted anything picture-wise in terms of the progression of the inflammation on of the nose or the jaw since the 6-month update. So I don't know. I'll probably do a 1-year update just to do it. But in general, this was the nose update, and only because somebody asked me today, because they just had surgery a month ago and they're having some challenges. So I thought I would give a quick 5-month update. I don't know that the person that was having challenges with their nose had it because it was a complication, or if just in general their nose moved forward with the surgery. I don't know. But if you do enough research, you can find that there are things you can do and precautions you can take to prevent sort of the nose flaring. So had I known that before, I probably would have been a little bit more diligent about speaking with the surgeons about it. But again, it had nothing to do with the surgeons. It had everything to do with the person who extubated me. So who even knows what kind of experience that person had in the hospital. I don't know if it was the anesthesiologist or the anesthetist or what it was, but from my understanding, it was, according to the chief resident, the day following it was when I was extubated. And then the doctors had mentioned it a couple times, so that's kind of the assumption I'm drawing. And so that's why I've had this extra surgery. So hope everyone's doing well. Stay tuned for maybe an update in a month or so on the 1-year anniversary of the jaw surgery, and I hopefully will feel much better and have a better update for you then. Thanks a lot.